The Midnight Gang by David Williams and illustrated by Tony Ross. Chapter 45, A One-Winged Pigeon. Something or someone's in here, I know it, whispered Matron as her torch threw light on the darkest corners of the room in the hospital basement. It looks like a load of old junk to me, replied Mr. Hughes. Let's move on. No, replied Matron. That smell. The woman sniffed the stale air. It's strangely familiar. As he crouched in the porter's cardboard wardrobe, Tom had the strangest sensation. It felt as if his little finger was being nibbled. When he looked down, he saw that indeed it was. His little finger was being nibbled by a pigeon. Without thinking, the boy shook his hand to get the creature off of him. This sent the poor pigeon skimming across the floor. Squawk! Squawked the bird. Oh! Screamed Matron. It's just a pigeon, said Mr. Hughes. I hate the dirty beasts. They're like rats with wings, nearly as bad as children. Now can we please move on? Asked the headmaster. Yes, she replied. I must inform the maintenance department to shoot that blasted creature at once. I would love to come down myself with a bucket and drown it, but sadly I just don't have the time. That is a shame, mused the headmaster. That would have been a pleasure. I'm so glad you feel the same way as me, Mr. Hughes. I do love a touch of cruelty. There's nothing more enjoyable. I like to be cruel to my pupils at St. Willets. That keeps them under my complete control. Any letters sent from family members, I burn before they reach the boys. Tom's parents wrote every week, but I put their letters straight on the fire. Tom couldn't believe what he was hearing. Oh, that must give you so much pleasure. It does, Matron, it does. There is nothing better than the feeling of absolute power. Tom's stupid parents have been calling the hospital, desperate for news of their son, but I put the phone straight down on them. That nasty little insect deserves everything he gets. I can't wait to get my hands on him. The punishment will be severe. Make him eat cold cabbage every meal for a year? The food at St. Willets is worse than that. Make him wash in bog water? The boys do that already. Make him do a cross-country run in his pants. When it's snowing. What a wonderfully wicked idea, Mr. Hughes. Thank you, Matron. There's no time to lose. We must find that boy now. And there's a picture of Matron, and there's a picture of Tom's mum and dad. There, ringing up Matron every day, and she's putting the phone down. Let's split up. You check the deep freezer, Mr. Hughes. Some of the children were in there the other night. Right away, Matron. And I will check the boiler room. Do shout if you find the little worm. Oh, I will. The pair turned round, and with the nurses in tow, rushed off to continue their search. When the sound of their footsteps was distant, the porter emerged from under the mattress. What an evil pair, said Tom, his heart racing. They're as bad as each other, replied the porter. Then he lit the candle, and the basement room flickered back into view. To Tom's surprise, the man rushed over and scooped up the stunned bird in his hands. Why did you have to do that to Professor Pigeon? He whispered. Professor Pigeon? Said Tom, a note of disbelief in his voice. Yes, it's because she's so very clever. She's my pet pigeon, and look, she only has one wing. Tom looked down. Indeed, the bird had a stump where one of her wings should have been. How did she lose it? Asked the boy. She was born that way. Her mother turfed her out of the nest just after she'd hatched. That's cruel. That's what animals do. She was the runt of the litter, I suppose. Just like me. Tom listened as the man stroked his pet pigeon, which cooed in pleasure. What do you mean? Well, I was only a few hours old when my mum left me on the steps of this hospital. I'm so sorry. She left me here in the middle of the night, so no one saw her face. So you have no idea who your mother is? Or was, no. But I forgive her, and I miss her too, though I never knew her. Why did she leave you here? I suppose Mum hoped I would be looked after better here at the hospital. Maybe she thought the doctors and nurses could help me and do something about this. The porter pointed to his misshapen face and tried to smile through the pain. I'm so sorry, said the boy. Don't be sorry, young Mr. Thomas, sir. I still love my mother, whoever and wherever she may be.
No one wanted to adopt me, so Lord Funt, who founded this hospital, let me stay in the children's ward. Funt was a kind man, not like this new fellow.
Amber told me the Midnight Gang began on the ward long ago and has been passed down through all the patients.
That's right.
But no one knew which child started the gang. Do you know?
Yes, I do, replied the porter.
The old man smiled to himself. Who was it then? The boy asked, his eyes widening in excitement.
It was me, replied the porter. I was the child who started the Midnight Gang.
End of chapter 45.